In the last episode, we looked at the biblical use of the term Antichrist and how it differs from popular modern use. Rather than being a title related to the false Messiah, it refers to anyone who rejects Jesus as the Christ. By removing this moniker, we now need to look at who this false Messiah truly is. In 2 Thessalonians, the Apostle Paul describes a man, sometimes called the son of perdition. This is a title he shares with Judas the traitor. This person, who is also called the man of lawlessness and is said to sit in the temple of God, declares himself above every god or object of worship. He deceives the world by means of signs and false wonders and is in unity with the will of Satan. Once he takes this position of power, he will remain until the coming of Christ, at which time he will be destroyed. In Daniel chapter 7, we learn that he is boastful and wages war on the saints. We also learn that his destruction is by fire. Daniel chapter 8 tells us that he and his forces trample underfoot the sanctuary and the holy people. Daniel chapter 9 describes this event as the abomination which causes desolation. And in Daniel chapter 11, it says he will turn to godlessness those who act against their covenant. It goes on to say that he will not desire women, nor the gods of his ancestors, but instead will live for conquest. This is what it means when it says he will worship a god of fortresses. Turning to Revelation 6, we see that the breaking of the first seal unleashes a rider on a white horse, holding a bow, and bent on conquest. These passages all interconnect and culminate in Revelation 13. We are introduced to two beasts which are empowered by Satan. The first beast comes from the sea, speaks blasphemously, makes war with the saints, and appears to have recovered from a mortal wound. For this reason, many people believe that the first beast is talking about the false Messiah. However, when we look at the second beast, we notice it too has similarities to the false Messiah. It's called the false prophet later in Revelation. It has the appearance of a lamb, but speaks like Satan. It deceives the nations with signs and false wonders, and most specifically, it establishes the image in the temple, the abomination that causes desolation. On careful study, and in opposition to the beliefs I grew up with, I am convinced that the false prophet is the false Messiah, and the beast from the sea is the nation, armies, and demonic forces he represents, including Satan. I was brought up to believe that the quote-unquote Antichrist has a spiritual advisor and miracle man who serves as his sidekick, known as the false prophet. If we assume that in fact the beast from the sea is an empire, then there's no other place in Scripture that talks about this minion. It makes sense, of course, that the beast of the sea is an empire, and I'll walk you through some of the key points. In prophecy, the sea is often used to symbolize multitudes of people. In Revelation 17, this is expressly stated, and the harlot is said to sit on many waters and on the beast, which makes sense if the beast is equal to many people. The beast has 7 heads, each relating to a kingdom which at one time or another was considered the most powerful in the world. Additionally, it has 10 horns which relate to 10 kings and their kingdoms, which in and of itself should indicate clearly that this is more than one individual. The beast is also given a mouth which speaks boastfully, and it would make sense that a kingdom would require a spokesperson, but not for an individual to be actually given a mouth. The beast also has imagery of a leopard, bear, and lion, directly corresponding to the vision in Daniel chapter 7, which are the kingdoms of Greece, Persia, and Babylon respectively. And of course, there is the mortal wound. In Revelation chapter 17, it says that the world will marvel because the beast once was, now is not, and yet will come up out of the abyss and go to destruction. We'll take a closer look at this verse in a later episode, but for now, I would ask the question, what person from before the time of the Apostle John, if they came back from the dead, would people even recognize? There are no pictures and no other means of credibly authenticating someone from over 2,000 years ago, so why would the world marvel at it? On the contrary, Moses spoke of a prophet like him who would come eventually. We know that was Jesus, but for those who rejected Christ, they are still waiting for that prophet, the false prophet. He will be part of the beast from the sea, but not the beast itself. A moment ago I mentioned the harlot that rides the beast. In the next episode, we'll be examining who she is and what relationship she has to the beast. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss that one.